Popular. I wanna be popular. That's what Jank and Anna are saying. Hello, my name is Liz Ashley and welcome to my channel. So this is a little video that I'm making that I felt so inclined to do after watching a video by the Vanguard. Now, TYT, Jank and Anna are a news network on YouTube. Now, I was gonna say progressive, but I am no longer calling them that, and it's no longer on their website. And so that is why we are talking about them today. So if you are on the leftist, progressive, whatever side of the internet, then you probably know who TYT is. If you don't, yeah, they're basically like a news network in a sense, like one of the first progressive ones on YouTube, but they got pretty big. But things have been going downhill for a very long time now. And I have been wanting to make a video about Anna in particular for a very long time now. I have so many instances of them grifting and lying and all these things. And as a person who has like witnessed this whole entire drama play out, it's just funny to see how like they're gaslighting people and like lying to people. But to the Vanguard is another like lefty show on YouTube, and they basically are like, they are reacting to Jank and Anna just melting down in the craziest fashion, crazier than they have before. And so I just kind of wanted to talk about it because it just made me so enraged that I just wanted to talk about it and make a video about it. So let's talk about Jank and Anna. So Jank and Anna are the two main hosts of TYT. They've been like the home of the progressives for a very long time on YouTube. And you know, there are a lot of critiques of them in the beginning of their coverage and their news network, which I think were very valid. That is kind of what they were branded as for a really long time. Now, Jank has always called himself capitalist, which has never really sat right with me. But they used to be known as home of the progressives, though they took it off their website, which I think is a good thing because I no longer think that they are. Anna has admitted that she's not. She's no longer like a progressive or on the left. She tries to gaslight people into thinking that she's still on the left. She's literally said it outright on Julian Michaels' show. She was on Julian Michaels and the whole shtick was why Anna left the left, because I guess Julian Michaels did too. And so recently, well, not recently, for about a year now, people have been critiquing them and being like, hey, what you're saying, like you call yourself the home of the progressives, but like what you're saying is not that. And Jank and Anna continue to double down and continue to let their ego rule their reaction. They just double down and yell at people who disagree with them. And it's really, honestly, it's really sad, truly.
The 13 douchebags are right. We need to protect every
Okay, we got.
even in China.
Okay,
even
okay,
though we have nothing to do with China.
You gotta
we
stop.
hate them. They're Nazis.
You gotta. Okay.
I mean, I'm 100% right. Every dirtbag show did it.
You gotta calm
Every
down.
dirtbag show did it. Tell me I'm wrong.
But I've been actually really pissed off. I've been actually like really mad at Anna for like a year or more now. So I'm kind of, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of jaded at this point. But this whole video on the Vanguard is basically reacting to TYT calling out the Majority Report, which is another leftist not network, but just like show. It used to be a radio show. It's with Sam Cedar and Michael Brooks used to be on there, and RIP. And now Emma is on there, and Emma, I love Emma, but Emma used to work at TYT. And so basically about like, I would say about a year ago now, Anna did something that made me stop watching TYT. I used to watch TYT. I was a fan before I started watching Hasan. So Hasan is actually Jank's nephew. And so Hasanabi head here, I've seen some other Hasanabi heads watching my stuff. Hello, I hope you watch this video. It was so funny. I would hear in Hasan's chat, like, oh, TYT were libs, here TYT are libs. And I'm like, no, they're not. What are you talking about? No, they're not. And I used to be like, what? No, they're not. Because they're the ones who kind of like TYT helped me become more progressive and taught me a lot that I didn't know before watching it. And I did slowly but surely realize that they are libs. Anna basically out of the blue, out of nowhere on Twitter started going on this freaking thing about being called a birthing person, right? Like she got upset because someone called her a birthing person. And she decided that Twitter needed to know that because she went to the doctor and I guess a form or something had birthing person on it, she decided she was going to tell Twitter that she didn't like that very much. And that's when I said, no, I'm not watching this FTYT. Like I watched the damage report for a little bit after that, but I just couldn't do it anymore. Which I feel bad because I really like John and I really like JR and I really like Francesca and I really think they're all really great. So that's when I stopped watching TYT like for good, because I just can't, like, I don't know, people who are transphobic or say transphobic things, even if they're not meaning to, sometimes it's hard for me to for me because I do have someone really close to me who is trans. And so sometimes it's hard for me when people say things not to like get upset. So this is when I was like, okay, I can't watch anymore. And so I stopped watching, and that was about like a year ago. And, you know, a lot of people tried to talk to Anna and are like, Anna, like that's very transphobic. Like, why are you saying this? People were getting clips from like a month ago when she was like, it doesn't matter like what pronouns people want to use, or it doesn't matter what people want to be referred to. How is that hurting you? You're just disrespecting them to disrespect them. And it's not taking away from you. It's not taking away from your rights. It's not taking away from you to call someone what they want to be called. Or to use inclusive language. People are not coming up to you and calling you a birthing person. If that is your biggest concern in life, if that is what you are worried about in life, then like you're doing pretty good. You're okay. I can't, okay? I can't. And it was transphobic and she knew it was, and she's continued to get even more transphobic.
They feel they're doing the right thing. They feel that they are being more accepting of a group of people who have suffered a lot in this country. Think that the transgender community is not the same as the gay community, or passing something to codify and protect gay marriage. That's very different from some of the more complicated, nuanced issues that arise when it comes to gender, right? So I really think that women have been totally erased from this conversation.
She's continued to even go like, she went viral after, like, she went viral for a pro-choice rant that she went on one day. And now she's even going back on that. She's even like walked back that a bit. Her pro-choice, like, she's still pro-choice, but she's like, well, you know, the extreme left, that's Cenk and Anna's new thing.
I think there's three wings of the Democratic Party. There's the establishment Democrats or corporate Democrats, same thing. We can call them establishment guys. Okay, neither one of us agrees with them. So then I think there is the economically populist wing that Bernie 2016 represented perfectly. That's exactly where Anna and I are. Then the last wing is what I'm struggling to find a word on.
I mean, Bernie had significant criminal justice reform in his agenda that I don't think you would agree with.
No, it depends on the criminal justice reform we're talking about. It always depends. So, and so the last wing is what I would call the extreme left, but you can come up, or identitarian left, whichever word you want to use.
Extreme left. I don't want to do the extremes. And I'm like, but that's basically what happened. And a lot of leftist content creators, this serves as Leftist Mafia. Olay used to be on Leftist Mafia. Now it's Rebecca Azor. But Olay was on there at this point, and so it was Olay, it was Mike Figueredo, it was Lance from the Serfs, it was David Dole, and I'm probably Matt Bender. And that's the Leftist Mafia. And they were all like, well, see, Olay and Matt really weren't friends with Anna, and so they kind of just were like really honest and were like, she's being transphobic, we should criticize her. Why are we... like Olay's like, this is like coddle a white lady hour, which I was like, it really was coddle a white lady hour, where they David Dole and like Mike Figueredo and Lance were just like kind of tiptoeing because they were friends with her, they had worked with her before, and they were like, like, we just think she's really misguided, and they were like really nice about it at first. And when Olay said this is just coddle a white lady hour, Anna like honed in on that. These streams are very long. If you have ever watched the Leftist Mafia, they are very long, okay? And so she honed in on like that one moment and started this like war with Olay on Twitter. And ever since then, Anna has had this like vendetta against people on the left. People that used to be her friends, she's had this vendetta. And it's insane that she's decided she's using this as a grift. And back then, people like me were saying she was a grifter, and I kept saying that, and everyone's like, no. Even like Mike, of course, thinks she's a grifter now. All of them think she's a grifter now. But at first, I guess they didn't want to believe it. They were like, no, like blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, she is grifting. This is what she's doing, and she's doing this on purpose, and she's seen it done before. It's funny how bad at it she is. Like, she has been horrible at trying to grift, because from the moment she started doing it till now, people have only been calling her out for how bad she is at it. Okay, Laura Loomer called her out on how bad she is at it, all right? She's not good at this grift. She has seen her peers do it. Dave Rubin did it. Jimmy Dore did it. She is horrible at this, and she keeps doing it. And I feel like that was just her catalyst. That was just her excuse of being like, okay, well, you guys were mean to me because I don't want my worth as a woman to be determined by the word birthing person, then I'm only going to be called maybe at a doctor's office sometimes. That does nothing to you, that doesn't hurt you in any way, and is only including people. And why that matters to you, I will never know why it matters. Why is your ego hurt by a freaking word? I've been really upset with Anna for a very long time, and now they're going after the majority report, and I feel like that was my next straw, where I was like, okay, I gotta make a video now, because like F this. The majority report, no, they're great, you guys need to stop. But really, for a while, it was just Anna that was grifting. Jank was on Hassan's stream for Thanksgiving. They did Janksgiving, and I've watched like a few years in a row now. And this year was definitely the spiciest. I watched last year when I was like, I don't know. Then I watched this year and I was like, I was right. And Jank totally has just gone completely almost in like Jank's views have been, they're so right wing now about crime, about immigration, about trans people. Like, they're blaming the election being lost on like trans people now, and that they were too woke.
24 weeks. That's why we should that we should go back to the bad old days where we punish people for smoking marijuana. That's you encourage every part of their worst instincts and get people to believe that instead of them being extreme, we're extreme. When in reality, on almost all issues, the right wing in my lifetime, especially the Republican Party, has been so much more extreme than the left has. But you guys have ceded that ground and raised your hand and said, yes, we're the most extreme. Please, we're the extremists, right?
I think
that's a terrible strategy.
The Democrats were too woke. While she was with Liz Cheney, they were too woke. There's not one trans person in their campaign and at the DNC or anything. And they're like, oh, they got extreme with trans rights. It's like, will you stop? Like, you are not a progressive because you were literally throwing a marginalized group of people under the bus. For what? Anna was like, oh my God, like, I just can't believe that the Democrats lost and now no one listened to me. We were criticizing them and no one listened to me. I'm like, yeah, because you were they were doing what you said is the thing. They were going to the right. We're being more right-wing on crime and immigration, and they lost because of that. Not in spite of it, because of it. And so it's crazy to me that she can sit here and say that, because it's insane. And she does say that. And Jank's over here tweeting Elon Musk and going on, like, she just went on Glenn Beck's show. Jank is over here, like, talking about how, he's always been a little bit more conservative. He's taking money from cryptocurrency places that Peter Thiel invested in. And now he's calling the TYT studio the Poly Market Studio.
They keep trying to distract from the real issues and are making the audience that is loyal to them dumber. The thing about Peter Thiel is not that Peter Thiel's a poly market. It's because of you promoting betting. The thing with this Jose
and crypto.
The thing with Venezuela, the Venezuela gangs and the slum in Colorado is not that gang activity happens in slums. It's that the neglect that has led to those conditions, which, by the way, there were gangs that weren't Venezuelan in those slums before that, but that wasn't a news story because what is a news story for this is we want to stoke fear of immigrants.
This is not progressive. This is not leftist. This is not living up to the values that you used to preach, but obviously we're not values because you no longer have them. You no longer abide by them. And that's what's going on. And let's go into what they said about the majority report, and I'm going to debunk it. So for about a year now, a lot of leftist channels have been calling out TYT. All the people from Leftist Mafia, Olay, definitely. And, a lot of people have been calling out TYT, right? The Vanguard. And the majority report has not been as vocal. Neither has Hasan. I think Hasan doesn't want to be as vocal because it's his uncle. He's starting to like today. What's today? Today is the 10th. Today's the 10th. And even today on his stream, he said, "Look, I don't know what Anna's doing." Like, he's called out Anna a couple times. He's like, "Look, I don't know what Anna's doing, but like she's just gonna keep radicalizing Cenk because he's just gonna keep standing up for her." And I think that's kind of what's happening. But I also think Cenk has always been a capitalist. So he's gonna take this money. He took funding money. He took like $1 million from some, billionaire donor or whatever at one point. And he's always been the one to get money out of politics, but he obviously is not trying to get it out of media. And he's going against what he said his own values were. So I do think Cenk, a lot of it is he's in it for the money, really. Not that they're making as much money as the Daily Wire. I'm just saying, I do think that a lot of the reason Cenk is doing this is not because he actually has these values, but it's just because he has a grandiose, I'm not saying it wrong, right? Sense of self, and feels the need to be this I don't know. Cause he's like, yeah, we're the home of the progressives. And when, if people disagree with me, then if people disagree with me and call me out and don't bow down to me, then they're the ones who are wrong and I'm gonna call them out. And so when he was on Thanksgiving, he literally called Sam Cedar a low rent grifter. And Hasan was like, "Oh, please don't say that. Please don't say that."
Grifters on the left attack you, whether it's
I don't think
Rubin,
they're grifters.
I think Cedar's a grifter.
I disagree.
Okay. Oh, by the way, so now all of a sudden you're defending Cedar. When he calls me a grifter, you don't defend.
First of all, I've never heard him call you a grifter.
He's called me every name in the book.
Okay.
He's a low-rent grifter.
Stop.
The majority report has been pretty quiet about this. The only person who sometimes talks about it is Emma. And Emma has also tried to kind of toe this line because her and Anna were friends. I don't think they were ever real friends. I hate Anna. I hate her so much.
Charitable. So
it has been based on what I have asked for, really, in part because of and because of my personal feelings about the situation and because of how sad it made me. In terms of closeness, there are very few people in this field that I felt as close to as her, and at one point I would say she was my best friend in this industry. But I have to cut bait at this point because she also made an accusation that I heard that I called her sexual assault titillating, which, if I were to be charitable, I'd say she was listening to one of those stupid crime right-wing podcasts that she seems to be a fan of these days, and they cut it up in a way that was misleading, or she's just lying about me, because I would never, ever, ever do that. My case has always been that some of these tough on crime narratives, specifically when a white woman is the subject of harm, are titillating to some people on the right who like to imagine themselves as white knights saving white women.
It's wild, and their politics right now are being shaped on personal grievances because they're just getting mad at everyone who's calling them out. And that's what Cenk was doing at Thanksgiving. He was just calling out Sam Cedar, even though Sam really hasn't talked about him very much. Emma has a little bit, but she's been very professional. She's been very cordial. They've been really trying to toe the line. And Cenk is over here calling him a low rent grifter and getting upset because Emma called out the fact that they took money from Polymarket and now called TYT Polymarket Studios. That's crazy. and like it's very transparent what they're doing, and I think a lot of people are seeing it as transparent. I'm seeing more people starting to talk about it because they're like, this is crazy. And like the more, and like Sam, even when someone else brought it up, they have a whole video saying, please do not talk to it. We don't want to talk about this anymore. Please do not bring this up anymore. We are not going to talk about it.
I guess something that happened like on Thanksgiving or whatnot. I gotta be honest, I don't really care. I made it clear to Jank that he was invited to come on the show, and you know, we can have a debate, we can discuss whatever. I mean, you know, and he made it clear to me that he was not interested in that. He was mad. He was very, very mad about all of it. And I will just say, like, I didn't hear any issue that he had with the stuff that we talk about. He may have issues with me personally. That's fine. I don't care at all.
They had a whole Twitter spat, and Emma and Jank, because Jank said that because she used Facebook, she was also using something Peter Thiel put money into. So she should give TYT back the money she made from those Facebook videos where she did. And it was just so stupid. And she called him out. She's like, I did that for work for you. And I wasn't getting sponsored by them. I was just using the platform. You're getting money. And Hasan actually told his uncle that he turned down a deal from Polymarket from $1 million. It's a gambling cryptocurrency thing. And that's my thing. If you're doing like cryptocurrency things, you are not progressive. So, yeah. It's just been really crazy. And like Anna's been going after Hasan for a while. She's been very, very jealous of him. And I really think that both of them are kind of more in it for the notoriety and the money and the following and like the cult following really than they are for anything else. And you know, the Vanguard always likes to be like, Jank is so Trumpian, and he is. He just has to be right. He has to be the strong man. But I just also think Anna is very much like white feminist. I think she just cares about things that affect her. And I think that she's just been using this as a way to try to get through. And because she's not making the big bucks, because she's not doing as well, like now she's like, well, I'm gonna grift because it's not about values. It's not about this. It's about money for them. And I truly believe that. I know a lot of people don't, and I know a lot of people I think are just now saying it or are trying to fight against it, but I don't think they were ever genuine. I think there are other contributors there that are. I think a lot of their employees are, but I don't think they ever were. Like Jank union busted when Hasan was there. And so I just don't think that they live by their values. I don't really think that they ever have. But them calling out Emma and them calling out the Majority Report, I feel like is so low. And like the Majority Report doesn't talk about them. But like I said, and even like Sam's like, I don't care what Jank thinks of me. I don't care. They're doing right-wing talking points and trying to repackage it as the left, and it's not correct, and we're gonna call it out. But outside of that, I don't care what he says about me. I don't care what he thinks about me. And Sam said that, and Emma's like, no, but like you're not a grifter. And like they literally, I watch them every day. They have some of the most obscure like authors and people, and they have union leaders and they have professors, and you listen to them. They're actual journalists. You listen to them talk, and you listen to these really important topics, and it's a lot, and it can be very, serious, but it's really important stuff to learn. And I learned so much from them, and to call them grifters and to call them out and just to act like this is crazy. And I think TYT is going down. I think everyone sees it, and I think they're panicking, and I think they're grifting. And I feel bad for the other people there, like John and JR and Francesca, that are going to be affected by this, even though they're not the ones doing it. All right, that was my video. I finally made a video about it. Oh my God. It was all over the place, but I hope you enjoyed. Please tell me what you think below, and tell me if you knew about this drama before this video. I'm actually really curious. And yeah. All right. Well, that's the video. Okay. Thank you for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye.